Welcome back, everyone. We're doing another podcast today, and I have one of the coolest guests, and she's done one of the most amazing things where it probably blow every person's mind if you haven't already heard it. A lot of people have, but Sandee is absolutely incredible in the real estate space. She took 100 listings in 10 months, challenged by Tom Ferry on stage. Sandee, I'll let you kind of take it over, explain who you are, what you're doing, why people should listen to this, because people absolutely need to listen to this full thing in your story.
Yeah, thanks. I'm so happy that you had me on. I'm honored. So I mean, my claim to fame, kind of like when I really found my niche, right? When I got into real estate 12 years ago, when I was kind of recap, I knew that I was a listing agent. I just knew I was a listing agent. And I come from a design background. So I just had the eye, the style, the marketing, the branding, like it was all just kind of up my alley. So I knew that that was going to be really a big part of listing a home, obviously. And 12 years ago, I didn't realize how big of a part of that would be, like in today with social media and all of that. So anyway, got into real estate and just kind of hit the ground running as a listing agent. Never marketed myself as anything otherwise. And right out the gate, I would say, I think my first year I did 29 units my first year, and I think 17 of them were listings. And it just kind of compiled from there. And by like year 3, I was taking at least 50 listings a year. And so I kind of got to a point I was like, I don't know, like, is this all there is? How do people do this for 30 years? There's got to be more to it, which kind of led me, of course, into some coaching opportunities and stuff like that, just to get into rooms, right? I think that's crucial, is to expose yourself to in this industry, especially to like lots of different people and lots of different rooms. And there's so many levels of success. Like I thought I had made it. I was like, I'm killing it. I'm like rookie of the year, top in my company, doing all the things, right? And then I got involved in a coaching program that's pretty massive. And I was just like, I don't belong here. I'm a nobody. These people were blowing my mind. And I remember like my first time at one of those conferences, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't my room. Like these people they're doing hundreds of units and hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm like, and I'm just by myself doing my thing. But what I quickly learned is you adapt. You adapt to who you are around quickly. And so I kind of just like leaned in and, sorry, there's people in here. I kind of like just leaned into the whole contributing thing. I'm going to take, I'm going to give, I'm going to take, I'm going to give. And I know that, part of that is what kind of led me to have multiple opportunities in that coaching realm to be able to start learning and teaching, right? And speaking and executing and really putting into practice. So much so that about 4 years ago, I was on stage doing just a small panel on listing attraction strategies. So this isn't like winning when you get to the house. This is like, how do you get your phone to ring in the first place, right? Which a lot of marketing, branding, all of that type of stuff. And I took a $10,000 bet, $10,000 in front of like 8,000 people I was going to list 100 homes in 10 months. 100 homes, list 100 homes in 10 months.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, right. That's a commitment. And like, I don't know, who would take that bet? Like if I knew that bet ahead, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But something in me said, this is going to change everything. Like when you do this, it's going to change everything. Like just go for it. Right. And what if I did 95, right? Like change everything still. But I am a competitive person and I am like, I'm not just going to do 100. Actually, while I'm taking 103 listings. But here's the crazy part though, Peyson, is like when you build, and this is the part that like is so important. When you build the business as a business with structure, strategy, discipline, leverage, scalable steps, right? Like you don't stop that train. Like inertia starts taking it. So once I hit 100 listings, people are like, oh, are you done? I'm like, I've built this amazing machine. Like if it just kept turning, even though it was like I had hit the 100. And so I won this challenge. And so I was on stage the next year. And I had taken everybody on this journey with me, right? Because it's kind of an unbelievable stat. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, right. Yeah, sure. She probably has a team. She probably has assistants. She probably had like, coming up with kind of these scenarios. But I will tell you, I had a very small team at the time. I had one assistant. But when I took this challenge, because we all know all of that can change any day, and I didn't want to rely on anyone, I took this challenge and I said, I'm going to do it as a solo agent. I'm going to run every transaction. I'm going to make every phone call. I am literally going to do every single step myself. And although that sounds kind of like, why would I do that? I believe, and I don't know the statistic, but I'm just going to call it 80%. 80% of real estate agents are solo agents. They are alone in their business. They're working from home. They're raising families. They're doing life, right? Maybe they don't have an office to go to. Maybe they're part of a cloud brokerage and they feel a little isolated, right? And maybe they feel like it's not possible for them. And said, I want to strip this down. I want to make this so possible that a solo agent with no assistance can actually do this. And that's what I built. And that's what I practiced. And there was a lot of realization during, well, first of all, I like to tell people, like, if you want to know what that does to change your life, like the motivation behind it, like take your average commission check. Like you're in California, yours are way more than mine. Mine's like $7,000. Like that's just my average, okay? But like times that by 100. Like no more am I making $120,000 a year. Like we're talking $750,000. Like that is life-changing stuff on a topic and a subject that I'm really good at. And that's the difference between what most agents are doing today, Peyson, and just going to the office. They're reacting. They're just putting out fires. They're squirreling. It's chaotic. There's no structure. It's not a business. They're a startup company every day, right? And then like 5 foundational steps to build the foundation of a business that can go from where they are to a $1 million business in such basic structure. We're also eager to chase the shiny penny. AI has got everybody wrapped and they're neglecting the foundational pieces of their business, you know, like, and they're wondering why their business is going down because they're getting so wrapped up in the second, third, 20th floor to their building when their foundation is water. Like, and they're wondering why it's not, there's no structure, right? You know, and so, I mean, it's a gut punch when you have all those like thousands of people staring at you and you're like, are you going to do it? Like there's something about accountability with that too. I love accountability. I think accountability is what motivates you to do everything, right? And I wanted to be able to confidently stand on that stage a year later, collect that $10,000 check, you know, the big, I call it like my golden buzzer moment, right? Like I had a picture, I envisioned, I'm like, this is happening. I just have to reverse engineer this to make this happen. Like it's probably not that, it's harder here than it is actually to happen. Like my mind is the thing that's going to hold me back. But as I was getting close to it, my coach was saying like, oh my gosh, you're going to do it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I had this like wicked fear come over me. And I was like, everyone's going to want to know, like, how did you do it? Like, they're literally going to want to know. Like, I don't have a 5-minute elevator pitch. Like it was 10 months of figuring it out. And so I wound up starting a Facebook group. I said, it's got to be controlled because my DMs were going to be like off the chain, right? Everyone's going to like, can I pick your brain for a minute? You know how it goes. I mean, I'm sure you get that all the time. Can we talk for 5 minutes? Shoot, I do that to you, right? Hey, when you have a couple minutes, like, can we chat? And could you imagine what that was like when 8,000 people witnessed this? And I was like, I have to control something. I've got this structure built. Like this is going to have to be a structure too. So I made a private Facebook group. Yeah. And you had to like give me your information. I didn't know you're a real estate agent and to let you in. And I just shared every month. So that's kind of like what developed like this whole concept of 100 listings. And everything I do is like training people to be able to build their businesses, to be able to do 100 listings. And I just took one pillar, like one concept a month. And I just said, this is what I did with this. And this is how I perfected this. And this is how I built the action plan. And this is, you know, the systems I put behind it and the calendar blocking that, you know, the scripts that I used that I learned after thousands and thousands of scripts. Like, and I just built this like resource space. And it took off, right? Like, I think there's a lot of just information out there, but the actual how to, the baby steps, that foundational, like, okay, I hear you, but like, what's step one? And that's what I thrive on. Like, that's what I love teach. Like, I
Right.
love that you're doing all the things, but we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Show me your CRM. Like, pull it up. Okay. Like,
Yep.
problem number one. Like, so it's really, and I think if the listeners almost, if I
Right.
said that, like, pull up your CRM, everybody like, like they would just start to freak out. Like, I don't have it organized, or I don't really use it. You know, it would be self-aware really, really quick. But I always say, you know, these large corporations, you think they don't have dialed in CRMs. You think they don't have dialed in systems. Like McDonald's is McDonald's because they literally have videos exactly how to make French fries. Like, it has to be in order to scale. Even if you're a solo agent, like it's, and now of course I had VAs, and I had like, after that I was like, shit, now I actually had structure and systems that I could hire people and plug them right in. This is your job. Here it is. It's totally built out for you. Just follow the steps. You know, that's, you know, which is kind of like another point. Like, everybody wants to, like, I'm ready to hire VAs, and what do I have them do? I'm like, you're not ready to, if you have to ask that question, we have work to do. Like, before you start hiring people, right?
Yeah.
And it's really like built, I mean, a sustainable business. Like, I just keep doing it. I have 55 active listings right now. Like, I'm like, we're halfway through the year. Like, it when I say it just becomes a daily practice where it's not hard anymore. Yeah. I'm on a call. I'll find you in a minute. Sorry. I'm in like a public place where people know me. So, so yeah,
You're all
that's
good.
kind of
You're
like,
totally good.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. And it just excites me. I mean, to know that, like, I can literally help agents change their lives, not just their businesses, but their lives, because it's changed my life being able to build like this, truly.
Oh yeah. No, it's totally life changing. And anyone that gets to work alongside you is obviously, like, as long as they listen to you and do what you say to do, it's going to
Yeah.
work. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure people have already gotten to see that. Now, like, for people that didn't follow along, what were you doing to generate all these listings? Like, people
Yeah.
hear 100 listings, right? And like, most people don't even generate a listing in a year. And you're
Yeah.
talking about 10 a month for 10
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. For sure. Well, you know, I had to look at it this way. Like, I loved the fact that I had like a goal. I had a 10-month goal, because when you think about all the different ways leads come in, right? They're all on a different level. Some are ready tomorrow. Yesterday expired, for example, right? Like, they're low hanging fruits, what you would want to call them. They're kind of at like that catch them out the bottom of the funnel. Like, they're right there. They're falling. You just have to jump in there and catch them. But then you have people that
Yep.
honestly don't even know that they're going to sell 10 months from now. Like, they're just not, it's not even cognitively there yet. Their job is thriving. They don't know that they're going to lose a job, or they're going to have a life change 10 months from now. Like, we don't know what 10 months comes in our own lives. And so I thought, okay, if I need to sign 2 to 3 listings every week, which is crazy for a lot of people to think of, I thought, well, then I need to be doing the things that are going to lead me to the appointments. So I don't want to like be the quintessential coach, be like, your KPIs, like, but you really have to, like, are you talking to people? How many conversations are you have? Are you setting appointments? Are you going on them? Like, it's structural, right? It's literally that foundation of conversion.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, I don't have time to mess around. I don't have time to just be out doing willy-nilly or going to the title company for tacos and margarita. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, my day has to start with setting those freaking appointments. Right. And so I said, who can I call? Expired, withdrawns. They're here. They're my this week appointments, right? They're right here. What about all the listing opportunities you had in your entire career that are sitting in your database? Maybe you even went on the appointment and they just chose not to sell. It wasn't the right time, but they're still owning their home. Like, I don't think we have a lead problem. We have a problem with leading people to us. That's like my mindset around leads. A lead is an action, right? Like, they already got to us. Now the rest of it is leading them to want to do business with us. So how do we lead people to work with us? Well, relationships and value, right? No, like, trust. It's that whole piece. I don't want to chase business. I want to show up where I'm leading them to come do business with me. So that's number one. Change the way we frame the word lead, especially as a listing agent. And I said, okay, well, if I can take 10 months, and it's literally what I've done. If I said, if there's 10 lead pillars and I can pretty much predict, okay, I need the current people expired sphere, right? That's one lead pillar. Who's next? Who are those 3 to 6 month people, right? Who are the geo farming of people in a neighborhood that don't even know they're going to sell, right? So how do I stack a time block between now and 10 months from now? What pillars fit in those? And then how do I build a fast nurture system to a longer nurture system so that when they're ready, I'm the choice they have. So every month I built out this is my stack of timeline, of nurture timeline, right? And I said, I'm going to build a system around this one first. And I built expireds and cancels. And I'm telling you, if I could get them on the phone, I was in their door. And then it was like, okay, how do you get them on the phone? Well, you can't just call them. You have to call them. You have to leave a voice message. You have to hang up. You have to send them a text message, send them a text video, an email video, YouTube video about who you are, and mail them something on day one. And then for the next 30 days, you've got to have value campaigns in the same sequence that is hitting them every single day. One day's a call, one day's a text, one day's an email, one day's a YouTube video, one day's a video, and then they get a piece in the mail. Next piece of information, bump every day. Like, that's the kind of system you have to build to be the one that they're going to call when they're ready. When everyone else stops trying to call them and you're showing up everywhere they turn, giving them value and strategy about the problem that you're solving for them that didn't work the first time. So if I could get people on the phone, I could set the appointment. And so I just dug into like, well, what do I say? How do I say it? What does everyone else say? How do I say something different? How do I have to shift my conversation? How do I have to shift my scripts so that I can get those yeses quickly? But if you're not doing it with a goal in mind, I think we let a lot of it slide. We blame it doesn't work. They're all the same. They're all unhappy. Like my scripting for expireds, for example, I train people on this for an hour. This is a workshop. Could be days of workshop on expireds. When I call an expired, it's not the typical, hey, Peyson, I saw your house came up the market yesterday. You're still thinking of selling, or I have a buyer, or whatever BS, the lines. It's candid. Mine is like, Peyson just had his house on the market for 268 days. Bro, he didn't get to move. He didn't get to do what he was going to do. He's got to keep his house clean. Oh my God, like he's put 3 price drops. His pictures were shit. I never saw an open house. Who was his realtor? Oh my God, his realtor never even posted about his house. Like, that's the kind of research I do before I pick up the phone. I'm not on a dialer. I'm not on a triple line. Like when I call Peyson, Payson's going to know that I know you. I got you. I know you. I'm here with you. I know what you've been through, and I'm speaking it.
Yeah, you've already studied it.
I've studied you. I find you on social media. I figure out who you are. Like, I knew what water bottle you drank from. Show them your water bottle. I just want to say, we're drinking from the same water bottle. I want to joke and say, I went out and bought this because I know this is what you drink from, right? But this is what I'm talking about. Like, you've got to feel connected. So my conversation is, Peyson, Sandee Payne with EXP, bro, because you're 20, bro, cool. 268 days on the market and it didn't sell. Man, like, where does that have you right now? Like, that's my opening script. And he's like,
yeah, I'm sure people probably feel way different than, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure people are thinking this is a way different expired call than everyone else.
Yeah. And they're still picking up the phone. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, you even get people who are like, oh my gosh, you're like the 10th person who called. And I was like, and you're still picking up the phone. So no one has said what you've wanted to hear. Because at this point, if I were you and I kept picking up I just wouldn't be answering my phone the rest of the day. But you answering your phone is telling me that you want to talk to somebody. You just haven't had anybody to listen to you yet. So this is the last phone call you're going to have to answer. Deal? And they're like, deal. And then we get into it. And within 5 minutes, the appointment's set. And I'm at their house in a couple days. But you don't get there by just making 5 expired calls and thinking it doesn't work. Like, you get there by setting an intention that I am going to make this work. And I did that for 10 months with 10 different lead pillars. Now in the background, just imagine there's somebody that's geofarming that you got to go geofarm and get into their neighborhood because they don't know they're going to sell yet, but you got to add value. So not only do you have the people here, you're stacking 10 lead pillars in succession on top of each other, trying to figure out what works. Do I do all 10 of the lead pillars right now? No, because after 10 months, I knew which ones actually I loved. Like I love calling expireds.
Right.
Clearly,
Okay. Yeah.
there are other things I don't enjoy doing so much, right? And it's okay. And they didn't bring the return, and it's just like not my thing, but I just, I don't know. I think you just have to take the time. I mean, it was time. I didn't even have AI. So let's just say I didn't even have AI at that time to help me with any of this. Like now, like it's a whole new ball game right now. Like you can literally have AI. Yeah. But again, everyone's using it. So there's going to come a time where we become doing the same thing everyone else is doing. So that kind of eternal have to be creative. You have to be one step out of the box in relationship. I don't think that's ever going to end. Right. But I think you just have to take a deep breath and you've got to set a goal, find accountability. I did have a coach at the time, through that organization, which, kept me on track. I wouldn't say was what was teaching me, but kept me accountable as well. And I set goals with my husband, like we sat down and we were like, when I make $700,000 this year, like, what are we going to do with it? Like, let's plan this. Like, let's plan this as happening. We booked vacations. We blocked off time. Like we lived the life like this was our life, and it came to fruition. And 4 years later, like we have a beautiful, thriving life that I have more freedom and time, and my business is still doing its thing alone. I'm a solo agent again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you say? So, like, I'm sure a lot of people wondering, listening to this, how many people would you say you're typically having conversations with per day on the expired side? Like, is this like you're having 5 conversations, you're having 10, or are you having a lot of conversations?
Yeah. So, every day I'm calling every one of them on day one, of course. I'd have to say for me, conversion on conversation is probably about a 10 to 15% that I can actually get in a conversation in that first week. Because you can't, like, you have to just keep that. We're busy. Like my phone's ringing right now. Your phone's probably ringing. Like people are busy. Like you're not gonna get them on day one, right?
Yep.
Be ready. Know that property enough that if you leave a voicemail and 2 hours later your phone rings and it's that person that you've studied that house enough that you can have recall real quick. When they say their name or their address, you're like, yep, I remember it. That's the one with the pink door. That's the one that was like, you have to study your clients. I think we fail massively there. And it could take hours. Until you get a system in place, but it depends on your expireds. Like I know people that they don't have expireds in their market right now. Cool. Not the niche for you. Right. But if we're looking at, in my market right now, we're in a terrible inventory, exorbitant inventory, so much people don't even want to sell because there's so much already for sale. But people are expiring. So, we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 new expireds a day. I go through them. There was a time that I would call every single one of them, but I know my product. I know my portfolio. I know my knowledge, right? Like, so I know which ones I align with where I'm going to have an easier time in my niche, right? Don't get greedy. I think if you quality over quantity sometimes, like I'd rather go through 5 and be like, what are the 5 that I feel I've studied them? I can actually have a strategy that's different. You come across them and you're like, they're like freaking magazine. And like, why didn't it sell? It's beautiful. Like their marketing might be better than mine. Right. So what am I going to say to that person when they say, what are you going to do different? Right. So you've got to take the time, to figure it out and be ready for them to answer the phone. Enough, that you've got enough. You're like, who are you? What's the thing? You're not answering. Like you called me. Like it gets really awkward at that point. So I would say if you could just start with, don't be overwhelmed because if you decide to do expired, you're going to get thousands. Just go through. Pick the neighborhoods that you already sell in. Pick the neighborhoods you're familiar with. Like start with things that the conversation is going to be natural and there's not going to be as much studying. Maybe pick 5 really good ones a day and study them and really focus on them and becoming that value add and building that relationship. And you'll find that you'll have a better conversion rate when you slow down. I know it's like speed to lead, like we hear that speed to lead all the time. But I do think there are pillars where you just need to slow down, and become quality and
That makes total sense.
be the value that they're looking for, you know. But I would say, yeah, if you could have, I would like to say 20 conversations a day, and expired 5, but I like to say 20 conversations a day in the beginning is probably where like you should be doing nothing else until you have 20 conversations somehow. Go to the grocery store, wear your name tag, go hang out in the cake section. Everybody who picks up a cake, say, do you mind if I ask you a question real quick? Like, do you like the cakes here? Like, I'm a real estate agent and I do like a ton of open houses, and we're always looking for like the best, like local stuff to put at our open houses to have people like, do you like the cakes or the cupcake? Oh, by the way, here's my card. If you ever like, just get yourself out there and start exposing yourself. That I would call that a conversation. Even if they kind of have to be forced. Like you can find things to talk about with people all the time, but have those conversations, and they may not lead to an opportunity right away, but they're going to very much increase your confidence, right? And your credibility and your confidence to be able to have a conversation. It's a skill that we lack. I don't want to say our younger generation, because I know you're masterful at conversation, but it's not natural, for a younger generation to talk like that, like to just small talk,
right?
Face to face,
right.
And I think another really big piece that helps me win in all pillars is I get face to face. I will Zoom you, I will FaceTime you, I will get on Google Meet, like I will send you text messages, video text messages. Like getting my face in front of people is probably the win first, because we're not a bot, we're not a ManyChat, we're not an AI, we're not a VA. Like this is my face, this is my name, this is what I'm looking like. I'm right here, candid on my phone, on my mobile phone. Like I'm sending you a straight message. I say your name. It's very personal. I give you something that lets you know that I've done some work, already. And I just want people to feel like we're already starting working together, even though we haven't signed anything. It's kind of that initial experience people can feel, that they feel like they want to just keep reciprocating.
You assume you're already working with them.
Yeah, they assume that because they can feel it. They can feel the compassion. It's not the sale. It's genuine. And in order to become genuine, you have to practice if it's not natural. And that is repetition. It's a lot of repetition.
Absolutely.
But I would say money-making opportunities first, before fun. Before fun and AI and learning and podcasts and all those stuff, right? Like get your money-making stuff done as fast as you can in the day.
Absolutely. It's always the first thing. That's what I always tell everyone on my team and in our group too. Now, 2 rapid fire things to wrap this up. What are 2 rapid fire tips you'd give agents today if they're just trying to get started doing all this? Like what are 2 things that they should go out and do today?
Yeah. I would say find your first 100 people. Find your first 100 people that you can start building relationships with. Your sphere, dig out your phone, get on your, wherever all your contacts are, get them all in one place, figure out who they are, just like you're going to invite them over for dinner. Get to know them like they would come over if you invited them. Find something about them, get them on social media, learn 100 people in your sphere and start building relationships with them.
Love that.
That's tip number 1.
Awesome. And what's the second one?
I think the second one I would say is believe in yourself. It's possible. I'm sitting here to tell you it's possible. So don't say it's impossible, because if I could do it, anybody could do it. I think you need to shift your mindset. We need to watch how we speak to ourselves. We need to believe in ourselves, and we need to decide if you want to be a listing agent. You're not just a real estate agent. You are a listing agent. That is your identity. And you need to analyze, am I living the life? Am I running the business to be able to call myself a listing agent. What do I need to change? What version of me needs to show up to be able to carry that title to the extent that they want it to? And that's an internal. So there's external in your business, and then there's an internal work that I would really encourage people to make a decision and then become that version of that person who exists in that space that can hold that container for yourself.
I love that. I think that's absolutely, like, you have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to get far at all in this. You have to know you can do it before you ever go and do it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is, I'll just say tip number 3, which it's not even a tip. I think it's just a discovery. It's okay to lean on other people. You don't have to do it alone. There are people out there who want you to succeed, and it's okay to ask silly questions. It's okay to reach for help. Find the people that you align with that are going to lift you and bring you along up to that success. And I think that's probably one of the most powerful things that I've discovered over the last years is who you are with, who you choose to
matters.
Who you choose matters. It really does. I mean, we hear it like, surround yourself with the people who you like, and we hear it. There's all these a million quotes and phrases, but when I decided to actually put that into practice and live it, it's phenomenal how that energy just makes things change. So yeah, that's
I always say the same exact thing. When my business shifted was when I got to be around a couple guys that were doing a few $100 million in volume every year, and I wasn't even selling a house a month yet. And all of a sudden it was just like, well, if they could do that, there's no way I can't sell 5 houses a month. And within 6 months, I was selling 5 houses a month. So like it's being around people. It's just infectious, that energy that they have. So this was awesome. Where can people find you?
Yeah.
On Instagram.
So I'm on, Instagram.
What's the best place people can reach out to you?
Yeah. Instagram and Facebook. It's just Sandee. If you start typing Sandee with 2 E's, because I spell it weird, I'll be the only one. So Sandee B, my middle initial, Payne on Facebook and Instagram. And then I also have and I can share it with you and maybe we can put it out. I just started my own little free school community. It's called the Hustle to 100. So if anybody wants to jump in and grab all my free goodies, it's there. It's there to help everybody out.
You're awesome. Yeah. You're incredible. I'll make sure to link everything in the YouTube description below. And thank you so much for your time today and hopping on with me.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Of course.